And on to debate number 2. A political controversy has erupted surrounding the film The Kerala Story. The screening of the film on Doordarshan, scheduled today, has sparked a heated political dispute between the left and right-wing groups. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has called the Doordarshan's move to screen the Kerala Story in the state condemnable and demanded its withdrawal, alleging that it could incite communal tensions ahead of Lok Sabha polls. Vijayan in a statement has said that Doordarshan should not be allowed to become a propaganda machine of BJP and RSS. Both UDF and LDF have joined hands to oppose the screening of the film. Leader of Opposition and Congress leader V.D. Satishan wrote to the Election Commission urging it to direct Doordarshan to withdraw its decision to screen the Kerala Story.
It is an unfortunate incident, and it is firmly we can say that it is an unfair practice. It is not fair practice. It is against the values of the Indian Constitution. So we would like to protest against this unholy practice.
To be honest, that's utterly shameful, because when the Kerala Story came out, everyone pointed out this is not the real Kerala Story. Kerala is a state of social harmony. It's a state of social harmony and coexistence. It is not a state that is some sort of mini Pakistan, as the film tries to show.
देखिए केरला फाइल हो या कश्मीर फाइल हो, वो सब बेबुनियाद थी, झूठ थी, फरेब थी। मुल्क में एक तजाद पैदा करने की कोशिश की गई, हिंदू और मुसलमानों को अलग करने की कोशिश की। यही वो कर रहे हैं, और अल्लाह करे ये कभी कामयाब ना हो।
Meanwhile, BJP had alleged that there was an unofficial ban on the film in theatres of the state, and now the left government in Kerala was stopping the film being aired on Doordarshan. BJP netas have questioned Kerala's ruling alliance over its opposition to Doordarshan's decision to air the film and said that there was a bid to stifle freedom of expression. Listen in to the political war of words.
Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, the Chief Minister of Kerala, is extremely worried that the Kerala Story may create problems. Yes, he's right. It will create problems for Pinarayi Vijayan, because he was in charge when this incident, as portrayed in the film, happened.
See, Kerala Story is a film which was given permission by the Censor Board. So I don't understand why. So it is a right that is given. Right to expression is something that is there, which is part of the Constitution.
देखिए, केरल स्टोरी रही हो या कश्मीर फाइल जैसी फिल्में रही हों, उन्होंने कई क्रिमिनल, कम्युनल, क्रूर कारीगरों और के कारनामों को बेनकाब किया है, काले कारनामों को बेनकाब किया है। अब जब इस तरह के कम्युनल और क्रूर काले कारनामे बेनकाब होंगे तो लोगों में बौखलाहट होगी।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining us on the panel are Kailash Adhikari, MD of Governance Now, Asif Sohail, political analyst, is joining us, Dr. Jayaraj, political analyst, also with us, and continuing with us from debate number 1 are Tom Varakan and Ishkaran Bhandari. Let me begin with Dr. Jayaraj. Dr. Jayaraj, the question being asked over here by right-wing groups is this, that if the Censor Board has cleared the film, can someone legitimately protest its being aired on television, whether private or public?
Yes, the first thing I just want to say that the untimely airing of the film through the Doordarshan. Doordarshan is a central channel and it is under the rule of the central government. So violating the moral code of conduct of the election. And second thing, it is a 100% propaganda movie. And it also raises a question of disturbing the communal harmony in the state. And it is clearly stated that in that movie, it's the divisive politics of the BJP and the Sangh Parivar is being portrayed. They were claiming about 33,000 women from Kerala has been converted to, Hindus and Christians were converted to Islam, and when they went to ISIS. And even the movie makers were, they just want to go back from, it is not a fact, it is only quite a few people went over there. That is the thing. So, propagating this type of movies create a lot of tensions during the time of the elections. And it is untimely. The first thing, it is untimely, and it is not fair
Okay, number of points you made over there. I want to bring in Tom Vadakan on that. Tom Vadakan, at the end of the day, the timing is being questioned. Why is it happening now? Is it the centre that is misusing a central government body, that is Doordarshan? And also the question about whether it will disturb communal harmony. Three questions that are being raised there primarily by Dr. Jayaraj. Please respond to what Dr. Jayaraj is saying. Tom Vadakan.
Well, first of all, when this film was released, they protested, they took the matter to the court. The court cleared this. This being a censor board cleared film, and it is categorical that it is not a propaganda film. The trouble with this film is it shows a mirror of a particular period of what happened. Now, they are not worried so much about the content of the film. What they are worried about is what will be the effect on their vote bank. Kerala is an intellectual and educated state. Movies have come and movies have gone. They do not decide the mandate. What is the problem with this film? It is not the centre who takes a decision on this film. It is Doordarshan, yes. And now I understand even they have gone to court to stop it. The court has again cleared it and said they can screen it. And I understand finally it's being screened at 8 o'clock today. Now, the basic subject here we have to understand, the CPM and the Congress stands for freedom of expression. And this is a creative film. And when they object to it, where is their freedom of expression? Where is their talk about constitutional rights? They are not bothered about it. They're talking about law and order situation. What is the record of Kerala? How many law and order situations have we faced with the screening of a film? No record. But as I said, it's not the content that is worrying them, because the content has their permission. They have mentored it. They have protected it. But now when it comes back to them, it haunts them.
Right.
And they feel that this film can upset the apple cart.
Right. Dr. Jayaraj, respond to that. He says that what about the freedom of expression? When the Congress and left talk about the central government or allege that the central government is trying to stifle freedom of expression, isn't this just the same thing happening once again because you don't agree ideologically with the context or the position that has been taken in the film?
Actually, propagating lies is the thing. It has nothing to do with freedom of expression. When it came into theatre, there was there were only a lukewarm response by the audience of Kerala, and they outrightly rejected that movie. And when it aired in the OTT platform, also very few watched it. I watched that movie, but it was a half-cooked truth, and 90% of lies are there. There are incidences, one or two incidences, and they are ballooning the fact that, inflating the fact in such a proportion that this is happening in Kerala. There are many other things happening in Kerala. There are good indices in the Niti Aayog, in the health sector, there is no communal disharmony in the state. There is no communal riots in the state for the last 10 or 15 years. When we considering the other parts of the state, there is no, violent acts and all. And they just want to jeopardize the whole situation, and they are propagating the thing that...
No, but Dr. Jayaraj, films can be made about particular subjects. They don't have to be all-encompassing. But let me put your question to Kailash Adhikari on the point that you made on factually being incorrect. Kailash Adhikari, it is a fact that even the Chief Justice pointed out that 32,000 is a distortion of facts in this particular case. So does Dr. Jayaraj have a point there when he talks about the context in which a film has been made?
Madhav, firstly, the Kerala story is a piece of creative content. It's a cinematic piece of content based on certain facts. And the makers I have seen the film myself in theatres, and the makers of the film have actually put out the source from where these facts have been sourced. And on
no, but they had to change the fact on the court's orders. That is a fact as well.
Yeah, so they did well. So they did. But nowhere any honorable court had stricken down the release of the film, Secondly, the film had got clearance from the Censor Board. Thus, it got released in the theatres, and we all know all over India the kind of thumping response in the box office success that the film got. That is a separate part. Now, coming to the fact, any piece of content, any creative piece or cinematic piece of content has a right to be broadcasted, whether it's on television or whether it's through the digital medium. I believe that the Kerala story has got a house under a digital OTT platform where it has been released. And Doordarshan is a national broadcaster of this country. Doordarshan and Prasar Bharati are well within their rights to decide which piece of content to be broadcasted over their platform. And for that, they have well within their rights. And also there is a censor certificate.
Right.
You know, what is worrying the opposition is not about the fact that it is coming at a right or a wrong time, because they are worried that actually the facts are coming out which is not going in their favor.
Right. Let me take this across to Asif Sohail. Asif Sohail, 32,000, certainly exaggerated. I don't think there's any dispute about that. Even the courts have said that. But at the end of the day, there are 4 women at least, you know, who have actually gone, who were from Kerala, who converted to Islam and went to Afghanistan. And their story is factually correct. It's been well documented in various media reports. Can we completely bury the fact that that has happened? When you say that Kerala story has happened, is a distortion or is completely untrue, you can't deny the fact that this incident has also happened. End of the day.
सर, अगर ये बात सही है तो ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का फेलियर है. उनके पास के जो मशीनरीज है, उनके पास जो सिस्टम है, सिर्फ क्या लोगों को डराने के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. ये अगर होता तो बराबर इसके ऊपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन करना चाहिए था. अगर मैं पूछ रहा हूं कि उत्तर प्रदेश में 1 लाख के ऊपर, गुजरात में 1 लाख के ऊपर लड़कियां जो हो सो लापता है आज भी, उसके ऊपर क्यों नहीं बन रही है. गुजरात के ऊपर जो हो सो क्यों नहीं बनाया गया है. गोधरा के ऊपर जो जुल्म किया उस पर क्यों नहीं बनाया गया है. मुजफ्फराबाद के ऊपर, हाशिमपुरा के ऊपर जो मॉब लिंचिंग के ऊपर क्यों नहीं बन रहे हैं पिक्चर. देखिए, ये दूरदर्शन एक भारत का मिल्कियत है, कोई एक पर्टिकुलर पार्टी का नहीं है. इलेक्शन कमीशन है तो इसको देखना चाहिए. ये अब इलेक्शन कोर्ट के अंदर आने के बाद एक पोलराइजेशन का काम कर रहे हैं. जब देखिए केरला में फेल हो गए, वहां पे अब ये चीज को नहीं ये लोग अपना पैर जमा सक रहे हैं, तो लोगों को एक फिरका परक सोच से लोगों को बदलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. मैं नहीं मानता हूं, जैसे सावरकर की जो पिक्चर बनाई गई थी वो फ्लॉप हुई. क्यों? देखिए, तमिल में भी एक पिक्चर थी, उसको सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने बैन किया था. परिजना पे भी बैन लगाया था. कई ऐसे मूवीज बने हैं, क्यों उसको टेलीकास्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं. आप बचाइए ना. किसानों के जुल्म की एक पिक्चर बताइए. आप मुसलमानों पे जो जुल्म हो रहा है उसके ऊपर बताइए. आपको बताना ही है तो आप स्टूडेंट्स के ऊपर आप देखिए, लोगों को खाने पे, रहने पे, हर चीज के ऊपर इतनी जो तकलीफ हुई है उसके ऊपर क्यों नहीं बता रहे. कई मूवीज ऐसे बने हुए. क्लियरली पोलराइजेशन का काम करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
एक चीज आसिफ जी इतना बता दूं कि इस देश में किसी पे भी फिल्म बनाने पे कोई पाबंदी नहीं है. अगर फिल्म आप भी बना सकते हैं अगर आप चाहें, अगर आपको लगता है आइडियोलॉजिकली इसकी जरूरत है, और आप फिल्म मेकर्स को अप्रोच भी कर सकते हैं. बट लेट मी ब्रिंग इन Ishkaran on one point. Ishkaran, he says that there is a sudden thrust just before the elections, also has been mentioned by the other panelists, of a large number of films that promote a certain ideology, whether we are talking about Savarkar, whether we're talking about JNU, about Article 370, so on and so forth. There are several other films, and all of this is happening just ahead of elections. And why is Doordarshan being used to propagate a particular ideology? That's the question of Asif Sohail. Please respond to him.
Yes. Madhav, firstly, it was a very rambling rant, whether there are atrocities on Muslims or anybody. The government is not making this movie. Anybody can make a movie within the creative license, within the norms of India, and produce the movie. If you don't want to produce movie or there are no content to produce a movie, it's not the government's fault. So firstly that, because this is not a movie by the government, made by the government, let us be very clear. Now the fact number 2. Congress has a long history of not wanting freedom of speech. The very first amendment to our constitution curbed our right to speech by putting reasonable restrictions on it, which were very, very tightly construed. But let us be very clear. Either a movie is legal and it is passed by the censor board, or it is not passed by the censor board. This movie got passed by the censor board. This movie, an ecosystem was rattled, went to the courts to get it banned. The courts allowed the movie to go through. So it went through an additional layer of scrutiny on all the parameters they are talking about now. Now, after that, we are a democracy, we are a nation of laws. Once the censor board has passed a movie, once the Supreme Court has upheld the right to a movie to be broadcasted, once that movie has been a global hit, has generated 400 or 500 crores, one of the biggest hits, then any public broadcaster, a movie which is a colossal hit, of course will show it. What is the new issue? The new issue is not the government. The new issue is to satisfy a vote bank you are raising the ground that, see, we are opposing this movie. In fact, you are ending up giving the movie more publicity, but that is their right. As a matter of law, in a democracy, a movie which is legally made, a movie which has been passed through all legal norms, which was challenged in Supreme Court, is being showed, which is the law of the land. Learn to follow it.
Learn to follow the law of the land. Asif Sohail says Ishkaran over there, and end of the day, it is a fact. Asif Sohail, Supreme Court ने बैन नहीं किया. बिग स्क्रीन्स पे शो पिक्चर दिखाई जा चुकी है, OTT पे दिखाई जा चुकी है. अब दूरदर्शन पे इतनी आपत्ति क्यों?
सर, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले पे भी हम सवाल उठा सकते हैं, वो भी हमें संविधान ने दिया है, समझे आप? दिया है, आप सवाल, तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूं ना.
सवाल उठाइए सर, सवाल उठाइए, पर इसका कोई अंत नहीं है. फिर
मूवी को
किसी भी कंट्रोवर्सी का कोई अंत नहीं है.
फिर ऊपर के मूवी को क्यों रोका गया, मुझे बताइए. जुल्म जो किया गया था गोधरा में, उसके ऊपर क्यों रुका गई मूवी? उसको भी टेलीकास्ट करिए ना आप बताइए. मुल्क को देखना चाह रहे हैं, किसान जो परेशान हुए हैं, लेबर जो परेशान हुआ, उसके ऊपर भी बताइए ना. दूरदर्शन के जरिए ही बताइए आप.
Okay, and there will also be a question, Ishkaran, that why was the BBC documentary banned or shadow banned? That will also certainly come up from opposition. So please answer that point, Ishkaran.
Yeah, that should. Firstly, again, I do not know what amount of misinformation he has. It is not the government making a movie. If you think atrocity on any segment of the society, please make a movie on it. Secondly, BBC documentary was not made in India. It was a foreign publication. There are laws of the nation. It did not pass the Censor Board. That ban was also challenged in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court upheld that ban, or the Delhi High Court, I'm forgetting now, upheld that ban. So be very clear. You can challenge any Supreme Court judgment, but the judgment of the Supreme Court is what will be implemented. So you can have a secular objection to a movie. You might believe you have a secular veto on how things will be broadcasted in this nation, but that is not a legal veto, and that politics is dead and buried in India. If a thing is banned, challenge it in Supreme Court, High Court. If the ban is released, the movie will be released. And if you want to ban something, you find it objectionable, either the Censor Board has to stop it, or you try it in Supreme Court. It's a simple matter of law, but you are trying to bring political veto in it, which has failed in India.
All right. Dr. Jayaraj, please respond to that. It's a simple matter of law, says Ishkaran Bhandari. Why not follow it?
See, this thing can be applied to both sides, because Ram Ke Naam, Anand Patwardhan movie was banned in India. Why? India's Daughter is banned in India, and the BBC may be from another country, but this movie is like Anand Patwardhan's Ram Ke Naam. Whenever it is screened in universities and colleges, these hooligans of this Sangh Parivar tries to disrupt the whole process. Even what happened.
Okay, almost out of time. Almost out of quick response from Tom Murakan. Quick, 30 seconds. Tom Murakan, almost at the end of the show. Please respond to Dr. Jayaraj. He says that there is hooliganism when certain Indian filmmakers' movies are screened in India. Please respond to him.
How many films have Indira Gandhi banned? Have you any account of that? And who is the enemy of freedom of expression? The Congress party. And how many lyricists have been banned? How many singers have been banned? How many actors have been banned? Do you have an account of that? Now, the reality check is, when there is a situation and the law of the land will prevail. Okay. And the law of the land is freedom of expression. Whether you like the film or not, you can always switch off.
Well, you can always disagree with the film, but you can't certainly engage in this kind of cancel culture. And I think at the end of the day, that applies to all sides, that freedom of expression, guaranteed by the Constitution, should be supreme. The law of the land reigns, and certainly in a country where we believe in the rule of law, that's something that has to be acceptable to all. Tom Murakan, Ishkaran Bhandari, Kailash Adhikari, Asif Sohail, Dr. Jayaraj, thanks so much for joining us this evening.